So, hello everyone, welcome back to Fusion Studios. I have a really amazing scene to show to you. Yes, and would you believe if I say this scene was made up in Fusion itself? Yeah, the whole scene from scratch, literally. We're just using some images, that's it. Okay, let's start from scratch. So, first of all, what you can see here is I have a background. Everything starts from a background only. So, we have this in this background, my type is set to gradient and gradient type is linear. Also, my start and end X value positions are somewhat like this, as you can see, and the color palette is purple and yellow orangish. Because in dawn you can see the colors are somewhat like this, maybe at least, but it was just looking good, that's why I chose it. The next thing we have is our sun. I have this ellipse. In this ellipse my x and y values changed and width and height values are changed a little bit. That's it. I masked this background with the help of this ellipse to get ourselves our sun, and the colors is somewhat like this again. Then again I have some soft glow. It was necessary to add it. Why? Because you can see like adds that glowiness to the sun which we needed. Later we'll add some more glows, but still we needed the glow specifically on our sun. In this merge nothing is happening, just merging both of these together. Then we have the clouds, and how I made clouds was with fast noise. Both of these nodes are same. Okay, if I were to show to you this fast noise, you can see what is happening. Let me just simply show this merge 4 to you so that it will be easier for you to understand what is happening here. In this fast noise, as you can see, my noise detail is set to 10, contrast and brightness, all the settings are somewhat like this. I haven't logged my X and Y axis because otherwise I wasn't able to get that cloud from this perspective. So for that, I needed my Y scale to be increased and X scale to be reduced. So for that, I uncheck this lock X and Y. And also my seed rate is just a little bit increased, and discontinuous and inverted is also checked. If I'll go to into my color page, in here you can see the default is set to color, but I changed it to gradient, and here my gradient type is radial, and X and Y values are again changed. And if you will change it, boom, you can get some other variation of the cloud. So the color is somewhat like this. This one is set to purplish pinkish. Okay, somewhat like that, not purple but pinkish, dark pinkish. Other color was black, and the alpha is set to 0. Alright, and because of again the radial, I am able to change this however I like. Then I just copied this with Ctrl C and pasted it over here with Ctrl V, and in this one you can see everything is same, just the X and Y values are changed a little bit. Okay, then merging both of these together, then merging both of these on top of this background, as you can see on merge 4. After that, what I have is my trees. So how I made my trees, I could have done it via polygon nodes or maybe fast noise, maybe some other, but I chose to use the PNG images. As you can see over here in media in 3, I have this tree image. It's in PNG image, 1920 by 1920. We don't need any high resolution image because we'll be blurring it anyways. And I have this another image which is 963 by 963 resolution. By the way, I have two images to add some variation in trees. That's it, nothing else. And what I did next was putting this image onto the background. If you were to see the alpha channel of this, so if I click A over here, okay, or you can just come here and choose alpha, you can see we already have it separated from the background. That's why I just took it and added this background node after this and masked it out with this image. Then with transform, I scaled it down a bit, okay, and changed its X and Y values, nothing else. Doing the same thing over here. I have this image, transformed it, and then putting a background, black background. Then merging both of these together, and we have something like this. Now, after that, I have another transform, and in this transform, I moved it over here, just onto a little bit right, and then I have a duplicate. Why? Just to fill a frame, okay, just to fill our frame. And because we have filled a frame and it's looking quite decent, what we can do is we can now animate it. How? With the help of this transform. So I have one keyframe set over here and another one onto the last one. Now, what is this doing is, and also I have my edges set to wrap. Because of this wrap, I have infinite versions of it, okay? If I were to reduce the size of it, you can see what this wrap means. But by default, it is set to canvas, and you will have only image under this border, okay, under this canvas basically. But in wrap, it's not like that. Then I have blurred it out with lens blur because I wanted my focus onto the sun only. If I were to show this to you, so it looks something like this, and if I'll play it, so it will look something like this, which is quite decent, right? But I was not happy till yet, so I added some iron fins or railing, whatever you want to call it. How did I do it? Again, same way I did with the trees. I have this image which is of iron fins, and with the help of Luma keyer, I keyed it out. You can see the settings are somewhat like this. Then again, masking a background, black background, because I just wanted the silhouettes. Whenever, if you will try this yourself, this effect, so when you will shoot sun, because the exposure is so high or the light is so high coming from the sun, the camera automatically reduces the exposure. And the other objects which don't have that much light of sun, because they are also shining because of the light of sun anyways, they become black, basically calling them silhouette. Okay, then we have this transform. In this transform, I increase the size a bit. Okay, and I have increased the size of this fence in a way in which it will be tiled properly, if you know what tiling is. So if I were to reduce the size of it, you won't notice it here, but on the next node, which is transform, in which we are animating it, again doing the same thing, which is a set to wrap, and the x and y values are animated. Here you will notice it. If I were to bring it a little bit ahead and then reduce the size of it, see, so you need to tile it properly. Then again blurring it out with this lens blur, nothing, just blur size is reduced to 2.5. The default is 4. You don't need that much blur. And if I were to play it now, it's looking quite nice, but we are not finished yet. We need post-processing to make it look more good. So here I added this glow. Okay, and in this glow you can see it's very slight, but it is there. Then again with the soft glow, and you can see this is doing so much. Why? Because it's adding this sort of halation. If you were to try this by yourself, again I'm saying this, but I'll encourage you to go outside and try it yourself. Shoot something, shoot trees, okay, in front of sun, just like this, okay, this composition, and you'll see this red outlines in front of it, like on the borders of the object, whatever object it is. This is halation. This is something to do with the camera lens and stuff like that. So, but anyways, I added halation after it, and all the settings are somewhat like this. Then again we have film grain, again settings somewhat like this. I change it to overlay, opacity is 1, texture is reduced, green strength is a little bit increased, shadows and highlights is increased because I wanted my grain also to affect in shadows and highlights. Okay, then I added prism blur. Vignette is also added here. My blur strength in prism blur is 0, but aberration strength is 1, and aberration distance is 0.005, and also something to do with vignette sharpness. Then a new node I added is lens reflection. I usually don't use this node, but it just looks good, so I added it just to add some sort of reflections, nothing else. Global brightness is reduced, anamorphism is again increased to 2, and the color is also changed. Then we have lens flare, again another node which I don't use much, but you can see it's doing, I'll not say a lot, but yeah, it is doing tough. Also I have masked it out. Why? Because if I remove it, you can see there is sun here, or a pointer source of light, in which it is creating this reflections which I don't want. So that's why I added this ellipse to only get this rainbow, or whatever you want to call it, spectrum light effect. Okay, and with that we have our final effect. So did you like it or not? Let me know in the comment section below. Also let me know any other suggestions of tutorials which you want me to do in future. Well, that's it. Join our Discord server, because there's a very beautiful fusion community. You can talk with them, you can ask for help, or people are asking for help, you can help them. Other than that, if you want this file, the link is again provided in the description below. Go and get your file ASAP. There are other files too. If you want any of them, just please, it's all yours. Lastly, if you like this video, so like this and subscribe to the channel, press the notification bell so that you don't miss any upcoming videos in the future. See you in the next one. Till then, peace. Bye bye.